talked about your programming, which is basically your programming was, you know, you were raised to be a street guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you didn't particularly feel you had many choices about that, did you?
No, I did. I had the choice to not become a street person. The thing is, my view of the world was that if you weren't a street person, you were not respected. So I didn't want that.
You wanted respect.
Yes. My father was a mean person, you know what I mean, kind of a bad man at times, but he also was my hero. So it's a lot of contradicting, like, you know what I mean, and confusion with that. So I would see people fear him. I would see him do like the most heinous things to people, like, you know, talk to a person's wife and the husband bow down, like, you know what I mean? I would see him, you know, play with guns and hold guns in the street and walk in public with these things, and nobody would say anything to him. They all feared him. And even though I didn't like his actions, I did not want to be the other people. So that's why.
That was the message you took.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to pick the other person. Like, I didn't want my wife to be, you know, for me to be punked like that, for me to bow down and walk with my head down. But I didn't want that.
Was there a moment you can put your finger on that you decided to step away from the blood?
Yeah, I think anybody who's so we always have a separation with people that are in the streets or, you know, live gang experience. The only people that don't want to stop are the ones that has never done enough. They haven't done enough to want to stop. I've done enough. Like I'm well decorated. Like I've been in violent situations all my repeated life. Like, so I went out when I first got introduced to it because I grew up in violence in my household. So, you know, I'm not a fan of violence. Like, you know what I mean? I just have no problem doing it.
Right.
You know? And once you start to realize that you're desensitized and then you're raising precious babies, it's kind of like, it's like a contradiction. Like, you know what I mean? It feels funny. And I didn't like that feeling.
So you think the babies were, in a way, the universe saying, you've got something bigger going on here now, buddy. Maybe you stop destroying and start building.
It was part of it. It was part of it. The part that was hard was that once I was going around doing speaking events and doing this mentorship program, I would literally find myself with a parent letting me in their house to speak to their team. This OG, this blood, this 𝗓𝗁𝗂𝘁𝘁, and all this other stuff. You let me sit on your couch and you accept me with warm arms because you think I can do something for you, you know, and you think I've changed and everything is transformation. Like, but we can watch the news and the same heinous crime that I was a part of, I watch on the news and I can look at my mother and say like, oh my God, they need to be thrown in hell, and I look at it and I'm like, damn, I was the same person, like, you know what I mean? But they forgive me, but they're not getting it just rubbed me the wrong way. So I realized that I had to do more to change that narrative, because I could have easily got caught up in that cycle where I was the one on the news and they could say that, you know, throw away the key, you know, he deserves to like rot in hell and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That was me at one point.
Right.
You know, so I didn't want to be like a hypocrite or contradicted, like, you know what I mean, idea. I wanted to make sure that people understood that the same person that you love, that you let into your household, that has transformed his life and you got working with your child, that kid, that person that's on that TV screen that did this heinous crime can be the same person.
You've been interesting from the get-go. When you first stood up and started talking, you got it. You have got the charisma, the ability to process the thoughts. You've got it. I don't know if you knew you had it,
right,
but you got it. You would stand up and command, you know, rooms for all these people. And by the time they were leaving, they wanted to change the world.
Right.
And Jay, that is not really within the grasp of most people.
You know how you always felt something that you're supposed to do something bigger, but never got the opportunity? So when we met you and these tours and events got put into place, you know, and you took me out of my comfort zone, like, you know, like going to restaurants. Like, you know, the first time I ever saw like a steak that's like over like $85, you know, it's like, what the hell? Like, you know, just even all of those different things, it showed us the world, a greater world than we knew, you know. So we started experiencing different things and more people, and that was amazing to me. Like, you know, to see other people's genius, other people's art, other people's, like, was amazing.